The movie is Send Help, which was written by Mark Swift and Damian Shannon and directed by Sam Raimi. This thriller film follows a downtrodden woman and her cruel, overbearing boss as they become stranded on a deserted island after a plane crash. The two co-workers are forced to overcome past grievances in order to work together to survive. But when the power dynamic between them shifts, it becomes a battle of wills and wits to make it out alive. This movie was an absolute blast. It's such a fun and truly wild ride that never really takes itself too seriously, while it showcases the immense talents of Sam Raimi, Rachel McAdams, and Dylan O'Brien. As I was watching this film, it struck me that it manages to do something that I think is extremely difficult to do. It's not only very silly, but it's also very thrilling, and it does both of those things exceptionally well, and it balances them exceptionally well, which I think is just extraordinarily difficult to do. It's all just like very campy in the best possible way, and it sounds stupid, but it really just leans into being a movie instead of some highly realistic, gritty depiction of what this situation would actually be like. For instance, there's a scene in the film where Rachel McAdams' character goes and hunts a wild boar on the island, and I remember thinking as I was watching, like, are they going to play this dramatic? Are they going to play it comedic? Like, how is this going to go? And sure enough, they managed to do both, and they managed to do it so well. The scene was like so over the top and absurd and just absolutely hilarious. But at the same time, it was equally grotesque and kind of terrifying too. This film really reminded me of Triangle of Sadness, which is another one of my favorite movies. But Send Help is really like if you took the third act of that film and then you extended it to be a feature length film, and on top of that, you limit it to just two people, and then you combine that film with the movie Misery.
Isn't that fascinating?
Both films have a lot of the same themes regarding shifting power dynamics and the corruptive nature of power, but while Triangle of Sadness was very funny at times, Raimi's film has a much sillier and much more outrageous tone. This film honestly made great use of its R rating by ensuring to include some horrific scenes that really made you want to look away, but also that made you want to laugh at the very same time. Let's just say that you'll definitely be able to tell that this movie is from the same director of the original Evil Dead movie. And while it is very much just a bloody good time, the film also manages to include at least a few moments where the characters open up and we get to see that these people are really just gray from a moral perspective. And to me, that added such a great depth as to who they were, and it made it far more interesting than if they were purely just good and evil and it was just black and white. The highly cinematic music from Danny Elfman was spectacular. It kind of reminded me a lot of music from old films because not only was it almost entirely orchestral, but it also just had this grand nature to it that you don't often see in modern movies, which tend to favor more of the pre-existing licensed songs. Also, I knew Rachel McAdams was insanely talented, but her performance in this is another reminder of just how good she is. She plays Linda Little in the film, who's really a complex character because she comes across as this meek, mild-mannered woman who kind of just lets people walk all over her. But then there's this shift in her. When she gets into a position of power, she becomes a completely different person who is actually quite scary and unhinged. So in many ways, she's kind of playing multiple roles. She's playing this one character with very diverse personality traits, and to me, it was just so impressive. She just nailed it perfectly. Also, one of the very early scenes with her tuna sandwich and the extreme close-ups on her and Dylan O'Brien had me laughing so hard in the theater. And honestly, it's the little things like that that make this movie so great. Also, no disrespect, but I did not know that Dylan O'Brien has that dog in him because, oh my God, he was so good in this role. He was incredibly funny in this role. And so much of that was his angry and terrified facial expressions and some of the noises that he would make, as well as his kind of perfect line delivery, where it really just painted him as this horrific monster of a boss who also would come across very pathetic at times. The sharp script makes these characters feel so alive and colorful. They each take turns being the protagonist and the antagonist in the film as their dynamic seesaws multiple times throughout the movie, which makes it extremely thrilling to watch. This movie is incredibly funny and it's extremely thrilling. And again, the music, the script, the acting, all of it makes it feel so cinematic, which is why you need to go see this one in a movie theater. This was a truly outstanding and original film that you seriously need to see because of the career best acting performances from Rachel McAdams and Dylan O'Brien, the hilarious and thrilling script that never takes itself too seriously, the stunning direction from Sam Raimi, and the wonderfully cinematic score from Danny Elfman. So go watch Send Help. If you enjoyed this video and you want to support me, go ahead and subscribe to my channel for more videos like this one. Also, go ahead and like the video. That also really helps. And if you want, leave a comment letting me know what you thought of this movie or what movie you think I should review next. I put out a movie review each week, so subscribe to stay tuned. Thanks, y'all.